And now this is another form of them just turning away, and now this is what they want. And he gives me some instructions. He says, go to the people, and you tell them exactly the type of king that they'll get. So I come to the people to give them this warning, and I tell them this is what will happen if you get the king you want. So the king will be in a position where he'll be able to take of what he wants. You know, you can't just have this money unless you have the taxes towards him, and this is something they haven't had to deal with in the past, of this type of taxing. And the king will he'll be taking men to be the captains in his court. He'll be taking people in as to run of his grand chariots. He'll take their daughters to be bakers, confectionaries, and cooks to serve in his kingdom. And then he'll also be able to take of the fields, the farmlands he wants, the olive yards and the vineyards. He'll be taking the very best of them. And then also of the animals. He'll be taking of the tenth of the sheep and of the oxen, and anything he wants to satisfy is all for the kingdom.
Yeah.
And that they will be servants to him. They're looking at all the good sides of having a king, and they're painting up to their best spots and saying he'll be a service to us and he'll take care of us and protect us and govern over us. We won't have to worry about anything ever again. But they're not looking at the bleak side of things. And I'm presenting this to people. This is what will happen. I think I heard someone in the crowd say, yay, new jobs and the stable economy. But no, they're not looking at the bad side. And they say, we don't care. At the end of it all, I plead with them and I give them after them. They say, we don't care. We still want a king.
And the last thing you said was in verse 18 of 1 Samuel chapter 8 is that it says that, and ye shall cry out in the day because of your king, which you have chosen, and the Lord will not hear you. And they say, in verse 19, nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, nay, but we will have a king over us. Verse 20 is very interesting. I want you to explain this to me. Verse 20, that we also may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us, and go out before us and fight in our battles. Now, when they say we want to be like all the other nations, that's completely against God's plan for Israel. He wants them to be a separate people, not like all the other nations. Kind of like us Christians today. We're supposed to be different. We're supposed to be a royal priesthood. We're supposed to be set apart. But they say they want to be like all the other nations. And what interesting to me is it says that they may go out before us and fight our battles. Has the Lord not God been fighting their battles for them this whole time?
Last time they had the conflict against the Philistines, that God stepped in, and when the people were right with God, and He stepped in just shortly before, as you mentioned, when God won them that victory. And further along, you'll see how well this king they get. You know, how they stand against the Philistines in those days. He doesn't exactly lead the charge for them.
Okay, so verse 22, the Lord said to Samuel, to you, hearken unto their voice, and make them a king. And Samuel said unto the men of Israel, go ye every man into his city. So the Lord said, fine, you want a king? I'll give you a king. And that's what happened. Mr. Samuel, we appreciate you stopping by and telling us your story. Very, very important part of our history. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Next week, read chapter 9, obviously. And next week, we won't be discussing chapter 9, but we will be doing quiz from chapters 1 through 8. Pastor.
You've been listening to a message from the pulpit of Town Center Baptist Church in Happy Valley, Oregon. We invite you to come visit us at 10505 Southeast 85th Avenue in Happy Valley. If we can be of help to you, please call us at 503-659-4494. We wish you God's very best.